First off, appreciate you guys making out. Congratulations, Cassie, on your new role and your new adventures. Wish you nothing but the best, but appreciate everything you did in light of this football program to show us in the right way and your hard work for the city of Memphis. So, wishing you nothing but the best. Today, practice number 4, beautiful Saturday morning. Really excited to get back out there and compete. Got a little bit physical, which is what I want to see, and you need to see that, right? Obviously, we want to bang them to a certain extent. Obviously, keep them healthy. But the guys went out there and competed down in and down out, and I was pleased with that. I think part of spring ball is competition, and that's what you want to see. And I think our guys understand that and continue to push. We got a lot of battles at every position. These battles may go through the first game, which is what I want, right? Guys constantly pushing. I don't want to be happy whether they're the fourth string or first string, and they've started for a long time here. But the guys understand that. I'm just pleased with the overall effort today. We got a lot of work to continue to clean up with everything. We talked about it earlier, owning the football, make sure we're doing that. We want to continue to see the defense understand this system and the scheme, be able to play at a fast level.
Going with the competition, having two new coordinators, is there any type of benefit of kind of having some fresh eyeballs on these guys in terms of position battle?
Yeah, absolutely, Frank. I think part of that is I'll do this every spring as long as I'm the head coach here. Is hey, I show them right the first team meeting. There's a whiteboard. I don't even turn on the projector. I just said, okay, this is what's owed to you, and this is where we are, right? Everybody's starting with nothing, right? We all got a blank slate of paper. Whatever happened last year doesn't matter. I don't care if you're all conference, you're coming in the opportunity. And with two new coordinators, you're exactly right. I may have seen things, right? And I don't have to sit there and try to say, hey, well, this is what happened. Let them tell me what they see right now. Because sometimes, right, I get jaded by my past experiences or knowing some things that have got to occur. So I think it's great, right? Always bringing in a new perspective. And then I also tell our coaches, I want honest feedback on what we're seeing, right? And I may see things one way, and I want that. That doesn't mean we have to have a ton of arguments and all that stuff, but hey, I see it this way, or this guy's doing this, and I'm all for that. I think that makes us better as a staff and ultimately better as a team. And our players get that and appreciate that. We're giving them constant feedback, whether it's graded practices, scrimmages, sitting down with them and saying, okay, here's why this is. And I think they appreciate that. And I think overall as a program, as long as we're straightforward with one another and pretty open about where everybody stands, it'll benefit us in the long run.
How much do you lean on upperclassmen when competitions happen, and like what they can tell the younger guys about earning a spot?
Yeah, I think that's a huge part of it. We were very fortunate. Anthony Miller, all right, was out there today, and you sit there, and most of these guys don't understand what Anthony Miller was and what the type of young man he was during this program, and he is, and what he meant. And here's another walk-on wide receiver, right? Obviously, in the times where Calvin Austin's name's been thrown around, people forget Anthony Miller was a walk-on here. That came and competed down in and down out every single day. And I was so fortunate to be with him and for 2 years and to see his competitive nature, that spirit. He'd run block, he'd play special teams, be on the scout team, whatever was asked of him. And to be able to have him talk to the team afterwards about the grit and grind and what we're all about, and just when it's all said and done, it's just about work. Well, that's a veteran presence that's playing in the NFL that can talk to him post practice. But then also guys like Quindell Johnson, they get it right. Quindell wasn't annoyed as a starter as a freshman; he had to work, and I think a lot of our guys have that understanding, right? Rodriguez Clark, has been in and out of the starting lineup multiple times, and I told Drake, he knows this, right? You got to go out there and compete. But the good news is, right, they've seen it for live, right? Live and in person. Some of our guys have experienced it. So those veterans, that leadership, it's been key to kind of explain to everybody, hey, this is the way it works. And I don't want anybody to ever lose that thought or that edge the way we're trying to do it.
With the competition, though, is it kind of is it more of just kind of like seeing who rises to the top, or is it more like knowing, hey, lost Calvin, lost Sean, and just trying to find those guys to emerge, kind of not just build the truth, but build that production a little bit?
Yeah, well, obviously those great players that we're trying to replace, and I hope every single year we're trying to replace great players, right? That means they were productive in it, and it's part of it. And I think every single year, it's not just replacing that production; it's also, like you just said, Evan, it's the cream rising to the top. So we're going to let it all shake up, and I want them to constantly battle and compete, and I think that's part of it. And I think it has to be ingrained in them that it doesn't matter if you had a good practice 1 through 4. We still have 11 more. And guess what? I don't care if you were great for 15 spring practices. I'm going to challenge your tail again when training camp starts. And you've got to be great in between. And so that's part of it. I think also these guys need to understand we're in a business, right? And so I don't care if you play well like we did as a team. Games 1 through 3, we'll shoot. You better continue to work and get better every single day. We talk about getting 1% better as a program and as a team. And our guys got to see that down and down out. Every single day. So I think it's a combination, right? Whether you're saying you're replacing production or just the best players, continue to compete and see who comes out when this thing shakes up.
Speaking of which, obviously we're going to talk to you about Sean Dawkins being here. What kind kind of did you see in him that made him such an attractive candidate for you to bring on staff?
Yeah, one of the things is in this profession, now 24 years, I'm an old man. I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of people. When you get a lot of people calling you about one person, and I'm never going to go just hire a friend. I don't think that's the right way to do things. I'm going to hire the best people that are the best match, the best fit for our young men. Right? I've hired guys that have had minimal resumes compared to some of these guys with great experience. For me, it's always about the right fit. I thought he was the best fit for us. A lot of people that I know that I trust and respect really just sang his praises. And the opportunity to sit down and interview with him, you could sense his passion. You tell what a wonderful teacher he was. He's going to relate to the players, but also hold them accountable. So when you look at all those things, it was a dynamic package, and I couldn't wait to hurry up and get him here. Obviously, we threw him right into the mix with spring ball.
When we talked to him, he mentioned obviously his relationship with Coach Bankin, and then him and Cramsey coaching against each other. So having a new coordinator who kind of knows how your mind ticks with the running back coach, how much does that help in just kind of getting the staff together?
Yeah, I think it's all important, right? We can get on all cylinders, and I think that's part of spring ball. Look, we better not be, as good as we are practice for. I think that's part of a work in progress. We always talk about this, and one of the things we never have the opportunity necessarily to talk about is, yeah, the players got to get better. The players compete and continue to improve. But us as a coaching staff, right? It may be Coach Barnes. This is his first time to actually have the spring to call the defense himself, right? Even though he was a defense coordinator at Ohio State for 10 games, right? The defense coordinator at Maryland for an entire season. Those were all necessary and interim tags. So this is a great learning experience for him. A great opportunity for Cramsey to work with our running back coach, for our running back coach Dawkins to work with Coach Bridge. And so I think those are all work in progress. And my chance, right? Another chance for me to grow as a head coach and continue to get better. So I think all those things, we're trying to get on the same page, but we're work in progress just like the players are.
I want to ask you about Grant. We talked to Grant, and he was just saying that getting back in that football shape, he had to kind of re-get into the mode of some things. How have you seen him just working out those physical mechanics that's come back from his injury?
Yeah, nothing prepares you for football like football. I know that's an old adage. It sounds kind of corny, but you can't go out there and take drops in the hot tub or the machines or all that stuff. Nothing actually simulates a live rush like being out there on the field. But he worked his tail off to get back to where he is, and he's done a fantastic job out there, right, stepping in. And you say it's just like riding a bike, getting back on it and understanding, well, there's still things, right? I mean, every day he's still, got to figure out to get my foot back over here. And, without being able to be here for a full season, I think that's part of it, right? I mean, he was able to pay attention, get the mental reps, but the actually ability to do it right throughout entire training camp and throughout entire season, that's 6 months of work that were technically missed. And but he's done a fantastic job. Obviously, as you guys know, he's a smart young man that cares, and I think that's going to lead him in the right path.
I know it couldn't have been easy for him dealing with that injury, being on the sidelines and not having an opportunity to compete. How did you see him mentally work through that, just kind of diving into the student part of the game since he couldn't be on the field?
I give Grant so much credit for the maturity and the attributes that he possesses, because a lot of guys, when they get hurt, it's very easy to get down in the dumps and just say, okay, well, I came here for this and this isn't happening. And he has been nothing but a positive influence, not only in the quarterback room, on Seth, but our entire program. He never once complained. He never once was down in the dumps. And that could be very hard to have a devastating injury, especially given his situation, right? Everybody thought, hey, we got this great quarterback competition going on, and the injury occurred. And for him, he was fantastic. You'd see him, he'd get hobble up on his darn crutches, taking the stairs right in the elevator, because he's like, I'm not taking that damn elevator. Go to the quarterback meeting room, paying attention, taking notes. And credit to him, because even though he wasn't necessarily like on a travel squad to go, stay the night at the hotel with us before games, because we knew there was no chance for him to play, he would come and ask me, Coach, are you okay if I come and sit in on those meetings at the hotel just so I can be a part of this, just so I can see what it's like? And a lot of guys would have just said, man, I'll take my Friday nights off, but credit to him. He's been fantastic, and he continues to learn every day and progress in this offense.
Now we saw, I was looking at the roster, I saw Evan Fields and John Cartwright went on there. Is there just an update on their status at all?
Both medically retired. Yeah, so they're both left within good standing. Evan Fields is graduating here this spring, and I believe John Cartwright's on the way as well.
So is it concerning a little bit? Because obviously, with the defense, it's not just a new coordinator, but you're now replacing two guys who saw reps just kind of like, Jacoby, JJ, and Pick. Is that kind of much more pressure on the defense to kind of fill some of those roles too? No,
we got fantastic personnel, and that's one thing I like. I like our depth. So there's never any added pressure. We're always going to have enough. Like I've told you guys before, there's going to be 33% roster turnover every year in college football. And so there's going to be guys that are constantly leaving. There's going to be guys that are going to leave probably before spring ball is all said and done. That's just the nature of where we're at. And for here, sit here and stress and fret over, I can't, right? We got to continue to prepare guys. That's why our ones get reps and our fours get reps, right? Just so whoever's got to step up and fill that void. I've got great confidence in those guys that are replacing. Now, man, it's always going to. Would I like to have Jacoby back, JJ back? Absolutely, right? Those guys have played football for us, but that's the reality of it. And so whether they have the opportunity to go play at the NFL, they've transferred or medically retired, it's got to be the next man up mentality. But our guys have had that positive approach.
Outside quarterbacks, initial position groups you think you have the most depth at?
Yeah, look, we've talked, Cassie, before about the amount of running backs we played, right? All five guys that started a game last year are back again for another year. And like I've told you guys, right, we also had the addition of Jay Ducker, throw him in the mix. It's been fun to watch those guys compete, but it's not that's the one thing about all these positions. It's not, oh, man, screw him, he's trying to take my job. No, it's, hey, how can we help each other? And that's what's been fun is that kind of shows you the culture, the brotherhood that we have within our program. And that makes me really proud of the type of young men we have in our locker room. So that we talk about the depth of our running back room, I grabbed Anthony Miller to the side. And he was asking me, hey, which one's the next great wide receiver? I said, what's fortunate, Anthony, is, I really feel like we've got depth at wide receiver too. And I think you guys can go up and down the roster and say, well, this guy could be emerge. This guy can emerge. Obviously Javon Ivory probably returns the most production. But I think there's a lot of excitement about some of those other guys, right? The Eddie Lewises of the world, the Joe Skates, the transfer. Let's see what Markel Jones does. Let's see what Kobe Drake does. I mean, the list goes on of guys that can go out there and compete for us at a high nature. And, Gabe Rogers, who was banged up for a little bit. So I like the depth at a lot of different positions. And to say, as you guys well know, the roster's not done. It's an ever-moving change. I saw somewhere, somebody wrote an article about, being a general manager, not only with college basketball and football. We talked about that roster management now almost 2.5 years, which is crazy to think about. And that's right where we need to fill holes. Where can we find more competition and more depth? Thanks, guys. You all have a great weekend. Appreciate you guys.